It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy Monday morning and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Once again, we're joined by Nicki and David this World Environment Day. And of course, we're discussing ways in which we as people can make an impact on this World Environment Day. And I think earlier on, David, we were talking about how the doom and gloom of greening is what people have at the front of their minds. But how do you advise South Africans out there to start living a more greener life? What tips do you have for the average South African out there?
Katlego, two things. If you run into legal problems, what do? You employ a lawyer. If you run into economic problems, you employ an accountant. Mm-hmm. So if we've got environmental problems, the first thing to do is to pay the guys to do the job who are most capable of it. So support an environmental organization. Not only are you giving them the financial means to do what they need to do and know how to do, but you're also giving them the political power, because if an environmental organization goes into government and says, we represent 15 million people, is government going to listen to them? So that's what you're doing when you join an environmental organization. There's lots of them in the Enviropedia. We're not an environmental organization, but there's stacks of them in the Enviropedia to go and look at. The second thing is use the power that you've got of the power of the purse. Use your consumer power. Buy products from organizations who show that they care about the environment, that are reducing their impact on the environment. Consume less. Mm-hmm. Don't buy it if you don't need it, but if you do need it, buy the one that is environmentally friendly. Nicki's stuff is gorgeous, and it puts you in touch with nature. That's the sort of way to go. So use your consumer power and support an environmental organization.
Yeah, and of course there's also then the power of social media, and we've seen how social media has made a massive impact all around the world. So hashtag with nature. Nicki, tell me about that and how that's going to be used during the month of June.
It's kind of to create a bit of awareness about the World Environment Day, and it's just kind of going out, going to the beach, doing something in nature, just to sort of just create that awareness and like understanding of like, you know, what's around us. Mm-hmm. So, you know, take your kids to the park, go to the beach, do something in nature that sort of just gives you a little bit of appreciation for it.
So if you follow that hashtag with nature, you'll be able to find out, all kinds of tips and, ways in which we can use the power of social media, as I said, to create awareness and a consciousness of greening around our world. And then, David, finally, the Enviropedia Awards are taking place in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the kinds of work that you're seeing emerge and what you'll be recognizing at this year's Enviropedia Awards.
Very smart guy called Albert Einstein said, the world we have created today has problems that cannot be solved by thinking the way we thought when we created them. Wow. What he's saying is we need to change our thinking. Now, if you look at our environmental problems today, pollution, poaching, etc., these are the outcomes of the way we think, our value system. Mm-hmm. So Ecologic Awards is about identifying the thinking patterns and the value systems that drive our behavior, recognizing people who are operating in a way that is basically more ecologically intelligent. Mm-hmm. And rewarding them. So we're seeing new innovations coming out. We're seeing people doing fabulous things. One of these, a 10-year-old boy has raised over 120,000 rand for rhino conservation. He's up at 4 o'clock in the morning having a Skype conversation with Chinese kids and then goes off to school.
Wow.
What kind of kid is this?
Extraordinary.
So we're seeing those kind of people coming up that we're going to be rewarding, etc. And then products. Innovative products that are more ecologically intelligent. That's what the Ecologic Awards are about.
Yeah. And we can't wait to hear more about them indeed at the 2017 Ecologic Awards. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us. And of course, we can all contribute to keeping our world more sustainable as a living home. And if you'd like more information on eco-consciousness and conservation initiatives in South Africa and keep up with environmental news, you can visit www.enviropedia.com.